Good morning, Vincent.
Oh, good morning, dear. I'm sorry if the alarm wakened you.
The alarm?
Yeah, I set it early. I had a date with Mr. Fraser.
At 6 o'clock?
Yeah, well, he wants me to play golf with him before I go to the office.
That's nice.
I'm a little late already.
What time did you get in last night?
What time? Why, it must have been right after you fell asleep. I tried to break away earlier, but he wouldn't let me go.
Did he sign the contract?
Who?
Mr. Fraser.
Oh, no, not yet. I'm certainly wearing down his resistance, though.
I've seen so little of you the last 2 weeks.
I know it's been tough on you, darling, but no tougher than it's been on me. Well, we're teeing off at 7. Goodbye.
Vincent? Where did you go with Mr. Fraser last night?
Oh, we were up in his hotel room going over the details of the contract.
Poor darling, working so hard.
Yeah, well, that's the advertising business. I'll see you tonight. No, as a matter of fact, I won't see you tonight. I can't.
Oh, not that Mr. Fraser again.
Yeah, you see, he's leaving town soon, and I've got to work fast. But I'll sure nail him tonight.
Vincent? Aren't you forgetting something?
What?
Today is the 5th anniversary of our wedding.
Oh, sure. I knew that all the time. In my rush to meet Mr. Fraser, it just slipped my mind. As a matter of fact, I've got a present for you. It's down at the office. Congratulations.
Well, thanks, and the same to you.
I'll tell you what. Let you and I go out tonight all by ourselves. I'll explain to Mr. Fraser.
Well, do you think he'll understand?
Oh, sure. After all, he's a married man himself. We'll go wherever you like. You pick a spot.
Yes.
I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Anybody ever sleep around this house?
What's eating you? Animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Vincent. I found it in his hat this morning.
Vinny, where is he?
He's gone out to play golf with Mr. Fraser. He just left Mr. Fraser.
Doesn't this fellow Fraser ever sleep?
You know something, Eve? I don't believe there is a Mr. Fraser.
No, Mr. Fraser. Then who's he been spending all this time with?
That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, I don't believe it. It's just that... Then it happened to me.
And I'm afraid it's happening to me right now. That weekend at his boss's farm, he said it was a conference.
Oh, I just don't believe that of Vinny.
Why not? Because he's your brother?
No. Because he's your husband. The guy couldn't ask for a better wife. That's why. I just think you're jumping to conclusions.
But he's been so evasive about this, Mr. Fraser. He won't even tell me the name of the account. He's keeping something from me, and that something is a woman. That's why he invented it as a Mr. Fraser.
Well, if he did, he's gone to a lot more trouble to cover up than my ex ever did. I wonder what kind of a woman this Mr. Fraser is.
I can't have changed that much since our marriage. I watch my diet, I go to the gym, I wear the same size in clothes. My legs aren't so bad. What reason can he possibly have?
Look, honey, a man doesn't need a reason. All he needs is another woman.
Why, only yesterday in the elevator. Remember that man?
Sure, I gave him the eye and he gave it to you. Wait a minute. What are you doing this morning?
Well, I'm going to have my hair done at Maxine's. We're celebrating our wedding anniversary tonight.
Forget your hair. You're coming with me.
Yeah, got a lot of work to do.
At least you'll find out if you've lost him. If Vinny is jealous, you'll know you've still got him.
Yes, but what if he isn't?
Then if you want a divorce, you'll simply name Mr. Fraser as correspondent, that's all. Now remember, it's the Burke Agency on the second floor.
I only hope I'm not doing the wrong thing.
In this case, the wrong thing may be the right thing to do.
Now, don't worry. I'll tend to everything.
Thank you, Mr. Hey, Ted, isn't that Paula Doane?
Paula Doane. That's not the name she gave me.
I knew her before she married Vincent Doane.
Come in, Doris. I got you set for Saturday night at a Moose Smoker in Yonkers.
Why don't you answer your buzzer? Vince. Vince, wake up.
Uh-oh. Morning, TD. I just trying to grab a few winks. I haven't been to bed all night.
Out with Mrs. Fraser again?
Yes.
Did she sign the contract?
No, she didn't. TD, you're going to have to get somebody else to work on this.
Now, Vince, don't be ridiculous. She said she wouldn't even discuss it with anyone but you.
I know.
She said she and you were old acquaintances.
Yeah, we are. And I thought I wouldn't have any trouble getting her to sign, but she says there's no hurry. She just likes to be with me. I've been out of nearly 2 weeks now.
Well, we can afford to spend a little time to land a $2 million account.
TD, I love my wife. I'm very happily married, and I want to stay happily married.
Of course you do. Paula's a lovely girl.
Yeah, but I'm living a lie. Paula thinks I've been spending all this time with Mr. Fraser.
But he's dead.
I know that. But I can't tell her I've been out till all hours every night with Mrs. Fraser, especially not this Mrs. Fraser.
Why not? She'd understand it's strictly business. It is, isn't it?
Of course it is. TD, Mrs. Fraser and I were more than just acquaintances. We were engaged to be married at one time. She was Maggie Crippen then.
Oh, that's it, huh?
Yes, that's it. Luckily, I found out, among other things, that I couldn't support her in the manner to which she wanted to become accustomed, so she married $20 million and old man Fraser. He was alive at the time, but just.
And you married Paula?
Yeah. And she's always had the silly idea that I married her on the rebound. That isn't true, of course.
Does Paula know her?
No, I don't think she even knows what she looks like, but she knows of her, which is enough. You know how wives are about things like that. If she found out about it, I don't know what she'd do.
Well, Vince, I hate to ask you to go on deceiving Paula, but, well, you know how important it is for us to get this Madame's perfume account?
Yeah, well, somebody else will have to get it, not me.
Vincent, how would Hendrik Fenton, Dorton, Durr, and Doane sound to you, huh?
A partner?
If you land the account. Now, Paula'd like that, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she'd like it all right. And so would I, TD, but after all...
A nice bonus goes with it. You could use that, couldn't you?
Yeah, sure could, the way we've been living. The only reason I took that apartment is because you promised me a raise a long time ago.
You'll get that raise and a lot more. You get her signed up, you can continue to live as you've been living. Even better. Think it over, Vincent.
Hendrik Fenton, Norton, Claire, and Doane. Yes?
Mr. Burke.
Who?
Mr. Burke.
Oh, send him in. Hendricks, Fenton, Dorton, Durr, and Doane. Hendricks, Fenton, Dorton, Durr, and Doane. Sounds like baby talk.
Hello, Mr. Doane. I'm Ted Burke of the Burke Agency.
Well, if you're here to see me about talent, we're not auditioning until next month.
Oh, it's not for that. But something happened I thought might interest you.
What was that?
Well, this morning, a dame, or a lady, comes into my office. She gives me a phony name and tells me she wants to hire a fella to go on the make for her. You know, make a play for her right in front of her husband.
What's that got to do with me?
Well, after this dame, or lady left, I found out she was your wife.
My wife?
Yeah. She said her and her husband were always pulling gags on each other. I thought you might want to be tipped off.
Oh, yeah, sure. We're always clowning around like that. She probably was trying to get even for that gag I pulled on her last week.
What was it?
Private joke. You know, one of those husband and wife things.
Yeah, I know.
Tell me, Burke, where's all this going to take place?
At the Venetian Room tonight.
Oh.
She had me reserve a table next to yours for my client.
Your client?
Yeah, the actor I'm getting to make a play for.
Oh, yeah. What does your client look like, just so I'll know him?
Oh, I haven't set him yet, but I'll get her a dynamite guy.
Uh-huh.
She's paying $100 and all expenses.
$100 in expenses?
Yeah, for what it's going to cost this guy tonight. You know, the Venetian Room is a class joint. But now, if you don't want me to go through with it...
Oh, sure I do. I wouldn't want you to spoil her gag. Just tell him to take it easy on expenses, that's all.
Oh, sure.
Well, thanks, Burke, for letting me in on it.
That's all right, Mr. Doane. Just so you remember me when you're auditioning next month.
You're in.
Good.
Be sure and get a good-looking guy, you know, one I can be really jealous of.
That won't be hard.
A cozy fire, a rainy day, a pair of teacups on a tray, the record you would play and play. These things are you. A country road, an open car, a wayside in a soft guitar, a wish upon a falling star.
Well, it's years since we've been here. How did you happen to pick this spot, darling?
Have you forgotten?
Forgotten what?
This is where you proposed to me.
Oh, that's right. Let's see, where were we sitting?
At this table.
Oh, yeah.
Does that song sound familiar to you?
What?
That song. They were playing that the night you proposed to me. I asked her to sing it.
Oh, sure, I remember. Isn't this wonderful? Same table, same song, same girl. Nothing's changed, has it, darling?
Nothing, dear.
5 years.
5.
Boy, am I hungry. Prices have changed a little. What did we eat 5 years ago?
Darling, 5 years ago we were too much in love to eat.
Well, we'll just have something light.
Good evening. Evening. Have you a reservation? No, I haven't. This way, please.
Good evening, Mr. Kimball.
Evening.
You haven't been here for a long time.
My first trip to New York this year.
How many in your party?
Just me. I was going to see the gentleman at table 48.
48? Pardon me. Have you lost your mind? Sitting Mr. Kimball in the rear?
Kimball? Kim cigarettes?
Give him a ringside table.
26 is the only ringside left. It was reserved by you, Mr. Berg.
Give him 26.
What about Mr. Berg?
I'll take care of that. This way, Mr. Kimball.
A lot of laughs, a few odd tears. These things are more than souvenirs. These things.
I hope this is satisfactory.
Fine, fine. Oh, just a moment.
Thank you very much.
What an attractive man.
Yeah, what a spender. Tipped him $20.
Really?
You see, Mr. Berg can still have table 26.
What didn't I think of that?
That's why you're still a captain.
Come on, darling, I'm ahead of you. How about dinner?
Let's have another martini first.
Okay.
Vincent.
Hmm?
That man at the next table.
What about him?
He's been flirting with me ever since he came in.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Well, maybe you just look familiar to him.
How could I look familiar to him when I never saw him before? He winked at me, deliberately.
Oh, it's probably just a nervous affliction.
Don't you think I know a flirtation when I see one? I tell you, he's flirting with me.
I'll take care of that.
Vincent!
You were supposed to be here at 9 o'clock.
I beg your pardon?
My wife and I are celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary, and you look kind of lonesome. I thought maybe you'd like to come over and join us. Oh, come right along now. We'd love to have you. This is my wife, Mrs. Doane. This is Mr.
Kimball.
Mr. Kimball.
How do you do?
How do you do?
And I'm Vincent Doane.
How do you do?
Fine, thank you. Sit right down, Miss Kimball.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Kimball was all alone, so I asked him to come over and join us.
How nice.
Well, all I can say is our southern hospitality is only exceeded by your northern hospitality.
Well, shut my mouth. A southerner, eh?
I don't think that's funny, Vincent.
Oh, I don't mind, Mrs. Doane. Makes me kind of homesick to hear it.
What part of the South you from, Mr. Kimball?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. What business are you in?
Don't be so personal, Vincent.
I really don't mind. I'm in the tobacco business.
Oh, naturally, being from the South. You're not by any chance related to Claude Kimball, the tobacco tycoon, are you?
Well, that happens to be me.
You don't tell me. Well, you mean you own Kim cigarettes, huh?
That's right.
That's our brand.
Really?
Yes. Well, have one of your own cigarettes on me.
I never use them.
Oh, you don't use them?
Well, how about a martini, Mr. Kimball?
A martini? For a southerner? Why, that'd be treason. What he wants is a long, tall mint julep. Isn't that right, Claude?
Oh, no, an occasion like this calls for something special. Let's do it. What's the finest champagne you had?
Mum's 1937, sir.
Will you bring us a bottle?
Yes.
Just one bottle?
Oh, no, we'll have more.
Pardon me, would you like to order now?
Oh, no, we thought we'd
Won't you
wait
let
till-
me have the honor of ordering your anniversary dinner?
Well, we were just going to have something light.
Yes, we're not really very hungry.
When you see what I order, it'll make you hungry. We'll start out with caviar. Which do you prefer, the black or red?
Oh,
I
no,
don't care
thank
for
you.
either one.
Bring
thanks.
both. Then we'll have vichyssoise, Caesar salad, and breast of golden pheasant all around. And for dessert, let's have some cherries jubilee. How does that sound?
Oh, it sounds fine. Fine.
Very well, sir.
Mr. Kimball, when you looked over at me, did you think you knew me?
No, ma'am. If I'd ever known you before, I'd have never forgotten you.
Oh, you southerners.
Yes, sir?
Mr. Burke reserved a table for me. 26, I believe.
26. Right this way. There you are, sir.
Thank you.
To your first anniversary.
Our fifth.
I know. We'll work our way up to it.
Isn't that clever? Why don't you think of things like that?
Oh, you know me, dear. I couldn't drink my way past the third anniversary.
Now, wait a minute.
I wonder what happened.
I don't know. Captain,
Yes, sir.
what was the trouble?
Some fellow was flirting with some other man's young lady, and we had to put him out.
Oh, a guy like that ought to be thrown in jail.
He will be, sir.
Well, I guess this about brings us up to our fifth anniversary, eh, Claude?
This is the ring that Vincent designed for me when we were engaged. Isn't it unusual?
It sure is pretty.
Of course, it isn't the kind of ring a man of your means would give to a girl.
I don't know. I'd be mighty proud to give it to any girl I was engaged to.
How come you never got married, Claude?
I guess the right girl just never did come along.
Oh, my bag. You could have held my hand a little longer. Thanks.
Doesn't anybody rumba?
I'd love to.
Well, go ahead, Vince.
Oh, no, you go ahead, Claude.
No, please don't worry about me. You go right ahead.
I don't rumble.
You don't know what you're missing.
I never could quite get the hang of it.
Well, if you're sure it's all right with you, Vince,
Oh, certainly. I'd like you to.
will you excuse us?
Certainly.
Nothing I enjoy more than dancing the rumba.
Well, while you're enjoying it, I wish you'd consider me.
Well, I've only been doing the rumba a short time.
I'm not talking about your dancing. Frankly, I'm disappointed in you.
Well, what did I do?
Well, it isn't what you did, it's what you didn't do. Look at the opportunity my husband gave you when he invited you over to our table. And did you take advantage of it? No. I have to make all the advances.
Well, I declare. I've never experienced anything quite like this.
I would get an amateur.
Will there be anything more from the bar before it closes?
No, nothing.
Couldn't you be a little more ardent?
What?
Hold me closer.
Well, you're the best-looking couple on the floor.
He's the most gorgeous dancer.
Anybody look good dancing with you?
Oh, doesn't Claude say the nicest things?
Yes, he does. I wish I could think of him.
Waiter. Some more champagne.
I'm sorry, sir. The bar just closed.
Oh, well, give us a check, huh?
Now, isn't that a shame the evening has to end so soon?
Well, why does it have to end? Why don't we all go up to our place and have a nightcap? What do you say?
Swell with me.
Me too. I can't remember when I've had a more delightful evening.
Oh, no. This is my party.
You can't let Claude pay the check.
Oh, he probably puts it on the expense account anyway.
Sure, it's only money.
Lots more where that came from, huh?
For you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Kim's or Sizzle? It's a great advertising gag, Claude. Who dreamed that one up?
I'm to blame for that.
You don't tell me. Kim's or Sizzle was your idea, huh?
That's right. It made the country Kim conscious.
How did you happen to hit on Zizzle?
Oh, what difference does it make, Vincent? Anyway, I think it was very clever of you, Claude.
Oh, it was simple enough. I just wanted to tell the world that Kim's cigarettes were the last word without coming right out and saying it.
Yeah.
Well, sir, I went to the dictionary and I found out that the last word in it was spelled Z-Y-Z-Z-L-E. That's how come Kim's or Zizzle.
Brother, we've got to have a drink on that one.
Aren't you carrying things too far?
What did I do now?
Well, all this talk about cigarettes and advertising slogans and sizzles. Who cares about sizzles?
Well, I thought he might be interested being in the advertising business.
You wasted the whole night on him instead of on me. Haven't you ever made love to a woman before?
Why? Well, yes, but I...
You certainly don't act like it. Is something wrong with your arm?
Well, no, ma'am.
Well, then why don't you put it around me? Not now, silly.
Not now. Well, when?
Only when my husband's here.
Where I come from, it's the other way around.
I'm jealous of the moon that shines above, because it shines upon the one I love. Here you are, dear.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Claude?
Do you mind?
Mind what? Oh, not at all, Claude. Why should I mind?
I declare, Vince, you're the most unusual husband I've ever met.
Unusual? Why?
Well, if Paula were my wife, I'd kind of want to keep her all to myself.
Oh.
Claude would be jealous.
I sure would be.
But that's ridiculous. I have no reason to be jealous of Paula. After all, jealousy means that a man is suspicious of his wife and doesn't trust her. And I certainly trust Paula. And I'm sure she trusts me. Don't you, dear?
Oh, yes, of course.
That's what I call a perfect understanding.
Well, that's why our marriage is so successful. Hey, I didn't realize the time. I have a conference in the morning.
Well, I better be leaving, too.
Oh, no, Claude. You sit right down. Just because I have to go to bed doesn't mean you have to leave.
Oh, but it is awfully late, and I'm sure Claude has a busy day ahead of him, too.
That's right.
Yes, I suppose any man who's the head of a large concern like the Kimball Tobacco Company is busy every day.
That's one of the reasons I'm up here, to shift part of the load from my shoulders.
Oh? Well, you ought to give the Kim advertising account to our agency. You wouldn't have to think up your own slogans.
I might consider it at that.
Did you hear that, Paula?
Yes, I heard.
Well, aren't you excited? All Claude has to do is snap his fingers and we land a $5 million account.
7.
7? That's even better. Well, Claude, I've had a very enjoyable evening, thanks to you.
Don't thank me. The pleasure was all mine.
Hey, what do you say we all go out again tomorrow night?
Well, that's fine.
Oh, no, I can't make it. I have a business appointment.
With Mr. Fraser again?
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what. Why don't you come over and take Paula out anyway?
Well, if it's all right with Paula.
Oh, I'd love to.
Well, then it's all set. You two kids have a date for tomorrow night.
Well, good night, Paula.
Good night, Claude.
There you are, Claude.
Well, thank you. It sure was a wonderful evening. Good night.
Good night. Hey, Bub. Terrific. Now, what a check grabber. Wouldn't even let me get my hand in my pocket.
Vinny, aren't you afraid you'll be late?
Yeah, I better run. Tell her about it, Paula. Somebody at the door.
Then what happened after you got home?
Well, I finally got him to put his arm around me.
Then what did Vinny do?
Gave him another drink.
Oh, you should have had him kiss you.
No matter what he'd have done, it would have made no difference to Vincent. He's changed completely. To show you how little he cares about me, he even arranged for this ham to take me out tonight.
Well, that's very considerate of him, especially at $100 a night.
This just came for you, Mrs. Doane. Thank you.
May I?
Yes, do. To sizzle affectionately, Claude.
Who in the world is Sizzle?
That's me.
Oh, and who's Claude?
That's the actor. He thought he'd impress Vincent with his importance, so he impersonated Claude Kimball, the cigarette magnate. Put on the phoniest southern drawl you ever heard.
Don't tell me Vinny fell for it.
Never suspected it for a moment. He even worked on him to get the Kim cigarette account.
No.
But why is he sending me flowers now?
Maybe he's just living the part.
Yes, at my expense.
There's a gentleman to see you, Mrs. Doane. Who is he? A Mr. Gaylord. Gaylord? What does he want? I don't know, but he's very upset.
Yes?
Which one of you ladies is Mrs. Doane?
I am.
Mrs. Doane, where were you last night?
What business is it of yours?
Oh, just that I happen to be the actor, the gentleman who was engaged by the Burke agency to flirt with you in the presence of your husband.
You were engaged?
Yes, for $100 and expenses. Of course, it's going to cost you quite a bit more now.
This isn't the Sizzle man?
No.
Holy cats.
Your husband assured Mr. Burke that this was just a harmless little joke, that there would be no violence. Well, the little joke was on me.
Oh, no, the joke is on me.
Just a moment. Do you mean to say that Burke told her husband about this?
Why, naturally. I should never have accepted the part otherwise. We'll see if a court thinks this is as funny as you do.
Eve, we must get rid of this man before Vincent comes down.
Look, pal, the judge may offer you even less than we will. Now, what have you settled for? Back.
Well, my dinner suit was ruined.
That's $75.
I spent the night in jail.
That's another $100.
And this eye.
$25 for the eye. That comes to $200 altogether, okay?
Well, that hardly seems enough for what I've been through.
What you've been through? What do you think she's been through?
How much? Quick.
Give him $250. The extra $50 is for not telling this to anybody, especially your husband.
Oh, you can trust me.
Now get out of here before my husband comes down.
50.
Hit the road, chum. Count it outside.
Oh, thank you.
Who was that?
Oh, it was just a man who came to borrow our...
The vacuum cleaner.
That's right.
Eve, did Paula tell you she has a date with this Kimball tonight?
Yes, I did.
We were all going out together, but then I remembered I had to see Mr. Fraser again, so I thought it'd be nice if Paula went anyway. Wait till you meet him, Eve. He's terrific. You'd never dream he's one of the richest guys in the country. Just as plain as you and I.
I'm dying to meet him.
Well, I better get going. Goodbye, dear. Have a good time tonight. Give my best to Claude.
Well, what do you say we each have a nice big slug of arsenic?
So that's why he acted the way he did. He knew what I was up to all the time.
And how about that Burke double-crossing us that way?
Oh, no wonder he was having such a good time. He let me make a complete idiot of myself with this man.
What about this other guy? The phony cigarette man.
Oh, right.
Paula, what are you going to do?
I'm going to make a telephone call.
Now, listen, before you call your lawyer, Paula, you may be making a mistake.
Kimball Tobacco Company? Is Mr. Claude Kimball in town? He is. Well, may I speak with him, please? It's Mrs. Doane. It's very personal. Thank you. Oh, Is this Claude Kimball? Well, do you know who this is? Oh, you do?
Did you get my roses?
Yes, they just came. That's what I was calling you up about. They're the most beautiful roses I ever saw. Tonight at 8. Fine, yes. Yes, that'll be fine. Goodbye. Bye. Oh, Paula. That man. That was really Claude Kimball.
Pardon me while I reach for a Kim. The phoniest southern drawl you ever heard, eh?
The way I threw myself at him. I made him put his arm around me. I even asked him to hold me closer. And that date. He's coming here at 8 o'clock. Well, I'm not going to be here. I can't face him. You'll have to tell him I left town.
Oh, no, not me. I couldn't face him either. What a pair of dopes we are. This is just what we wanted in the first place. Paula, you're going out with him tonight.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are. Don't you understand? What do you think Vinny will do when he finds out this Claude Kimball is not an actor, but the real tobacco millionaire?
I wonder.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Maxine's to have my hair done.
I don't know how you can beat this, Margot. I've switched the list of publications to guarantee Madame Perfume's coverage in every magazine of over 1 million circulation. Now, for the radio spot, we can get Sunday night at 7 over WBS. That'll catch the women listeners putting on their makeups to go out. You're not paying any attention to me.
Well, isn't it the other way around, darling?
Now, here's another idea I've worked out since I last saw you. Women of discretion demand Madame Perfumes. We'll run a series of oil portraits by Cavelli of leading society women like Mrs. Laswell Courtney, Mrs. Ronald Brock, Lady Winthrop. Well, what do you think?
I think we ought to dance.
Oh, come on, Margot. We've been going over this deal for 2 weeks now.
Oh, has it been that long?
You know it has. We're no further than we were when we first started.
That's part of my complaint, too.
Margot, let's not start that again. Huh?
Start what, darling?
I told you I'm in love with my wife.
You told me you were in love with me once. You said you'd love me forever. Do you remember?
Yep, that was 5 years ago. During that time, I've been very happily married. That isn't until this deal came up. Now,
that sounds familiar.
Well, familiar or not, I just want you to understand how
No. I mean the music. Oh. That's the tune they were playing the night you proposed to me.
Oh, yes. Margot, we've drawn up a new contract.
Oh, let's dance to it.
Well, I don't feel like dancing.
Oh, please, Vincent. Just for old time's sake. Come on.
I hope you'll come to a decision on the contract tonight, Margot. I know I've said this before, but in signing with us, you'll be represented by one of the top agencies in the country.
Do you remember the last time we danced to this?
We've got accounts like American Airlines, Santa Fe Railways, Remington Typewriters, and plenty of others just as important.
It was in San Francisco, just the night before I left for Yuma.
As a matter of fact, we just landed a big account in San Francisco, Western Cereals.
And after all these years, here we are together again.
Of course, we want to incorporate any thoughts you might have into the campaign. Do you have any ideas?
I have several ideas.
Let's sit down. That's a little too fast for me.
It wouldn't have been too fast 5 years ago.
Yeah, I've slowed up a little. Now, about this contract...
Do you have a reservation for Mr. Kimball?
Kimball? Let me see.
Good evening, Mr. Kimball.
Good evening.
I changed your reservation. I have a better table. This way, please.
Vincent, what on earth are you doing?
Oh, it's a new step.
what's it called?
It's called the Peekaboo Hop.
Peekaboo Hop? I never heard of it.
You haven't?
No. I can't say it's very graceful.
Well, I don't do it too well. I've just had a couple of lessons.
Oh.
Let's go out on the terrace and have a smoke, huh?
I'd love to.
What's going on out there?
I wish you'd make up your mind, darling.
What kind of a dance is that?
Oh, just a couple of silly exhibitionists.
How about a cocktail? What's your pleasure?
A Manhattan.
Manhattan. Captain? 2 Manhattans, please. Yes.
What's the matter with you, Vincent? Are you trying to hide from someone?
Who, me? No. What made you think that? Captain. Yes, sir. May I have the check, please? Yes, sir.
Oh, we're not leaving, are we?
No, you don't want to stay here all night. Let's go to a lot of places.
That'll be all.
Thank you, sir.
Why, there's Vince.
What are you doing?
My shoe came untied.
Oh, no wonder. So that's Mr. Fraser.
Did what? Let's ask him to join us.
Oh, well, no, let's pretend we didn't see him.
Don't want to spoil his fun, eh? You two sure have a wonderful understanding.
Pardon, monsieur, but I was serving the next table.
Oh, well, tell them to come over and we'll all look at it together.
Oh, give the man his menu, Vincent. We've already had our dinner.
Yeah, but I'm hungry again.
Oh, thank you, madame.
No, I tell you, go and get another one, huh?
Care to dance?
Oh, no, thanks. Couldn't we go somewhere where it's a little less crowded?
Well, why, of course. Waiter.
Yes, sir.
Check, please.
Your check, sir.
Oh. Keep the change.
Thank you, sir.
Well, shall we go?
Lost your appetite, dear?
Yes.
I thought I'd just let him go on thinking you were the actor until he found out his mistake. But now that I know the truth about him and his Mr. Fraser, well,
I just can't get over you and Vince thinking I was an actor. Well, he's certainly going to find out different tomorrow.
Oh, it doesn't matter anymore.
And all the time I thought I was making pretty much of a hit with you.
Oh, you understand, of course, that I only behaved that way for the benefit of my husband.
You know, Paula, I'm kind of sorry you found out about Vince tonight.
Thank you, Claude.
I was looking forward to seeing a whole lot more of you. And Vince, too. Well, you still want to go home?
Where else is there for me to go?
Of course, I'm sort of an innocent bystander, and it probably isn't for me to say. But if I were in your place, I wouldn't sit home nights just wasting away. No, sir.
What would you do, Claude?
Well, I'd have myself some fun. I'd go out and have the time of my life.
Driver?
Yes, ma'am?
The Uptown Club, please.
the Hoffman Institute help you.
Come in, Claude.
I'm sorry.
May be too late.
Well, Paula, don't you feel better now?
I feel wonderful.
You sure look wonderful.
Thank you, Claude. You're an angel.
It's sure been fun. Good night, Paula.
Good night.
Say, Paula, maybe if you take off your shoes, you wouldn't wake up Vince.
Good idea. Hey, what am I doing? I want to wake him up. Yippee! Yippee! I haven't had such a good time in years. Yippee!
Well, I better be running along now. Well, good night again.
Claude! Don't go yet.
Well, it's terribly late, Paula, and it's been a wonderful evening. So, good night again. Good night.
Good night, darling. Yippee!
And Doane. Good morning, Mr. Doane.
Morning, Peggy.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Tommy.
Morning, Mr. Doane. Congratulations.
Good morning, Mr. Doane.
Nice going, Vance. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mr. Doane.
Good morning, Vincent. Congratulations.
Hi, Vince. Some deal.
Mr. Doane, Mr. Hendricks wants to see you.
And congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Vince, you lucky son of a gun.
Vince, old boy, you really pulled a fast one.
And keeping it on the QT, too.
Very nice deal, Vince. How'd you swing it?
How'd I swing what?
Come on, don't give us that.
Hendricks wants to see you. He wants to pin a congressional medal on you.
2 congressional medals.
I wish I'd have had that
And the
deal.
firm is very proud of you, too.
Needs a live wire like that.
Just find out when they're available and let me know this afternoon. Yes, call me back. And I've got to hear this afternoon. Don't argue with me about... Hello, my boy. Sit down, my boy. Sit down. That was McAllister in Hollywood. I'm trying to line up Hope and Crosby together.
Who for?
For that little history-making package you just wrapped up.
Yeah, but Margaret's still stalling me. I haven't landed the Madame account yet.
Madame, who cares about Madame? This is for Kim cigarettes.
For Kim cigarettes? When did we get that account?
At 9:22 this morning. Who do you think was waiting for me when I came in?
I don't know. Who?
Nobody else but that iron puss Charles Reber, vice president in charge of advertising for the Kimball Tobacco Company. And he had a smile on his face, too. Here, take a look at this contract. The ink's still wet. I've been banging on his door for 9 years just to get a little piece of his business. And you nail the top man for the whole account. How did you get to know Kimball, anyway?
Through my wife.
I didn't realize you were in this strong with him.
I didn't know it myself.
Oh, don't give me that. Charlie says that Kimball considers you one of his closest friends.
He does, huh?
Yes, and your wife even closer.
He does?
Certainly. That's why Kimball specified that this account is to be credited to you personally.
It's very nice of him.
What's the matter, Vince? Is there anything in the contract you don't like?
No, it's just I don't feel so good. I'm a little tired.
Of course, I should have known. You must have worked plenty hard on this account. Now, my boy, you go on home and get a nice rest.
Thanks, T.D. I'll do that.
And Vince, take a look at that new sign over the entrance.
Did you get a big bonus, Vince?
Well, how do you like that? A partner for 20 minutes, now he won't speak to us.
All I can say is our southern hospitality is only exceeded by your northern hospitality.
I know a flirtation when I see one. I tell you, he was flirting with me.
If I'd have known you before, I'd have never forgotten you.
Claude's the most gorgeous dancer, Vincent.
If Paula were my wife, I'd want to keep her all to myself.
Going down?
Why, that's ridiculous. I have no reason to be jealous of Paula. I have no reason to be jealous of Paula. I have no reason to be jealous of Paula. I have no reason to be jealous of Paula. I have no reason to be jealous of Paula. Paula. Hilda. Where's Mrs. Doane?
Oh, Mrs. Doane's upstairs. Aren't these beautiful flowers? Mr. Kimball sent them.
What did Mr. Fraser look like?
She was absolutely terrific.
No.
Paula! Paula! This Claude Kimball, he's a phony. He's really Claude Kimball.
Naturally. Who'd you think he was?
Do you mean to say you knew it all the time?
Oh, what's the matter with you?
But I thought he was an actor.
Actor? What actor?
Paula. Paula, look at me. Didn't you hire an actor to flirt with you in the Venetian room?
An actor to flirt with me? Are you insinuating that I have to hire someone to flirt with me? Did you hear that, Eve? He thinks I'm such a has-been that I have to hire someone to flirt with me.
Even I'd be a little offended at a crack like that, Vinny.
Well, that isn't exactly what I meant.
Do you think Claude Kimball is the only man who has ever flirted with me? Plenty of men have flirted with me.
And what then? I flirt with them and they flirt with Paula.
Nobody's asking you. Then if you didn't know he was an actor, why did you throw yourself at Kimball the way you did?
If I may remind you, I didn't throw myself at Claude Kimball. You threw me at him.
Score that as an assist.
But I only did that because I thought he was an actor.
Actor! Will you stop all this idiotic talk about an actor?
All right, Paula. All right. But I never want you to see this Kimball guy again, do you understand?
You've a nerve to tell me who I shall see? You and your Mr. Fraser?
What's Mr. Fraser got to do with it?
I finally saw Mr. Fraser last night.
You did? Where?
At the rocket roof. And I might add that she's very beautiful. Especially in contrast with her companion, who acted like a hurdy-gurdy monkey and looked the part.
Well, the lady you saw me with was Mrs. Fraser. That's Mr. Fraser's husband. I mean, wife. And she'd just gotten in that morning from Florida. And I was merely entertaining her until Mr. Fraser joined us to iron out the deal, that's all.
It's stuffy in here.
Nobody's asking your opinion.
Come, Mr. Doane, you can do better than that.
I tell you, there is a Mr. Fraser.
Will you stop lying about her?
Mr. Fraser's a he, not a she.
He, she, I don't want to hear any more about her.
Him!
Her!
Him!
Oh, get out of here!
All right, I'll get out. And I'm not coming home for dinner.
What do I care?
It's fight night.
Hello, Vince. Congratulations on the Kim deal.
Oh, thanks.
Hiya, Vince. How's it feel to be a partner?
Hello, Vince.
Hello, Les.
Have a drink?
No, I don't think so, thanks.
Tell you what I want to see you about.
I think I know.
She wants me to handle a divorce.
She's going through with it, huh?
Her mind's made up. It's kind of a shock to me, Vince.
Me too.
Tell me the truth. Does this Mrs. Fraser mean anything to you?
I was just seeing her on business.
You're not answering my question.
Believe me, Les, she doesn't mean a thing to me. But I'll never be able to convince Paula.
Well, under the circumstances, I can see where it would be pretty tough. Tell you what, I'm having lunch with Paula tomorrow. I'll do what I can to talk her out of going through with it.
Thanks, but I'm afraid you're wasting your time. Wait a minute. Where are you having lunch with her?
Zelly's.
Zelly's, huh? Les, I wonder if...
Burnley.
Wait. Stop. Don't look now, but they're just coming in.
Here you are.
Sitting down at that table over there.
Hungry?
Not very.
Would you like a cocktail?
Yes, I would.
I don't know how to thank you for helping me out on this, Margot.
Oh, think nothing of it, darling. After all, what are old friends for?
Paula,
Yes?
look over there. Is that the woman?
Now are you convinced?
I would never have believed it of Vincent. I wonder who that is.
Oh! Not over there. Right here. Kiss her, will you?
May I?
This is Mrs. Fraser. This is Mrs. Sinclair.
So what?
Sinclair. Ken Sinclair. How do you do?
How do you do?
Don't shake it. Just hold it. You're supposed to be Mrs. Fraser's husband. Try to act like her.
Boy, my wife certainly looked like that.
Keep your mind on your work.
Oh, and you'd better call me Margot.
Margot? Margot.
He kissed her,
Vince didn't seem to mind.
and he held her hand. I was beginning to worry about you, Ken, darling.
I was unavoidably detained, Mrs. Fraser.
Margot, you dope.
Margot.
I wonder who it can be.
Maybe we'd better find out.
Excuse me.
When do we eat?
Later.
He's coming over.
Hello, Les. Paula?
Hello, Vince.
Well, what are you doing here?
Oh, I was just having lunch with some friends. You remember Mrs. Fraser, don't you, Paula?
Yes, I do.
Well, I finally closed that deal with her husband.
Her husband?
Yes, Mr. Fraser, the man I told you about. Or tried to tell you about.
You mean to tell me there is a Mr. Fraser?
Well, for $2 million there is. There's a signature on the contract. Ink's still wet.
Paula, do you realize what a terrible mistake you almost made?
Almost made. Why, she's been making it right along. She never would believe there was a Mr. Fraser.
Yes, I know. That's why she wanted a divorce.
A divorce?
I might as well confess, Vince. Paula met me here for that very reason.
Well, I'm afraid she's going to have to find other grounds.
Now, wait a minute. There's no real reason for a divorce, is there?
I don't know. Paula hasn't said anything.
Because I can't.
Well, in that case, you won't be needing me, so I think I'll be running along.
I'm sorry, Lester.
That's all right. I'm glad it turned out this way.
Yeah, well, thanks. I'll see you later, Les.
Bye, Paula.
Oh, I feel such a fool.
Oh, forget it, darling. Anyone could have made the same mistake.
But to have suspected you, of all people.
I guess there was some reason for suspicion.
It's just because I'm so jealous of you.
To think that you almost sued me for divorce.
I only wanted to divorce you because I love you so much.
That's fine grounds.
From now on, I'll never question anything you do.
Well, let's not carry this thing too far, darling.
Mrs. Fraser looks like a lovely woman.
Oh, yes, she's nice.
I'd like to meet them.
You would? Well, I think they'd sort of like to be alone. They haven't seen too much of each other in the last couple of weeks, either.
I think she wants us to come over to her table.
She does? Well, she probably doesn't mean it.
I'm sure she does. Oh, come on, I'd like to meet her. Yes.
This is my wife. Dear, this is Mr. and Mrs. Fraser.
How do you do?
How do you do? Won't you sit down?
I'm so glad you would join us, Mrs. Doane.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to meeting you. I'm afraid I owe you an apology.
An apology? What for?
Well, Mr. Fraser feels that he should apologize for having taken up so much of my time lately.
Oh, well, that's not necessary at all, Mr. Fraser. That's the advertising business, isn't it, darling?
You see, Margot, darling, you're not the only wife who's neglected by her husband on account of business.
No, I can certainly sympathize with you, Mrs. Doane. Why, sometimes I don't see my husband for 3 or 4 days at a time.
It almost seems like 3 or 4 months to me, my angel.
Oh, there's Phyllis Comstock. I want to speak to her.
You give her my love.
Excuse me. Captain, could I speak to you a moment? Do you see the man at that table? The one with his back to us?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, his name is Mr. St. Clair, and I want you to take a telephone to him and tell him his wife is calling.
As long as I live, I'll never forget our wedding.
How long have you been married?
6 years, isn't that what you told me? 6 years.
Have you any children?
Oh, have I? No.
Oh, 4. How old are they?
Well, Lionel's the eldest. He's 10, and...
10, but I thought you said that...
Lionel's by a former marriage. May I see them? Very nice.
Phyllis said to say hello, dear.
She did?
You have lovely children, Mrs. Fraser.
Do you think so?
Yes, all 4 of them.
They certainly resemble you.
They do?
Fortunately.
I suppose they're all away at school now.
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, they are. They're attending... What's the name of that school, dear?
PS 42, Mrs. Fraser. Margot.
Your wife is on the phone, Mr. Sinclair.
Oh. Hello, Lil.
No!
No, what am I saying? That's not me.
No, Sinclair is his maiden name.
Mr. Fraser.
Honest, you got it all wrong, Paula. That is Mr. Fraser.
I don't care who Mr. Fraser is as long as I'm not Mrs. Doane.
I'm so sorry, Vincent.
When do we eat?
And the last paragraph states that you are willing to vacate the premises as soon as possible. Is that clear?
It's all right with me.
As soon as possible isn't soon enough for me.
All right, then I'll get out before it's possible.
When will that be?
Tonight.
Now, when do you leave for Reno, Paula?
As soon as possible.
Couldn't you hurry that up a little?
Oh.
Now, come on, kids, let's not make this a dog fight. Remember, I'm just acting as a friend of the family. Paula, I've retained attorneys in Reno for you, Johnson and Hale.
That'll be fine.
Now, all we have to do is decide what the grounds will be.
Okay, Les, you name it.
Well, let's see. How about extreme cruelty?
That sounds pretty good.
Which do you like better, Vince? Mental or physical?
Do I have to pick one?
Unless you want to use both. With mental cruelty, Paula merely states that you nagged the life out of her.
That I nagged her. She's the one that's been nagging me.
Now, just a moment. That
All
isn't
right,
fair.
all right. We'll use physical cruelty.
I like that even better.
You simply testify that Vincent socked you on the jaw in front of a house full of guests.
Oh, no, she doesn't.
I don't see what's wrong with that.
Done all the time.
Do you think I want a reputation as a wife beater? I've never laid a finger on her in my life. Have I?
I don't see what that's got to do with it.
Okay. How about habitual gross drunkenness?
Oh, that's a good one.
Drunkenness on whose part?
Why, yours, of course.
What do you mean mine? After the way she came in the other night with Claude? Boiled?
I suppose you were sober the night you made an exhibition of yourself with Margot.
Yes, I was.
We've been all through that.
Les, that's out. I'm a business executive. I'm not going to be known as a jug man.
All right, all right. Let's find something else. Conviction of felony or infamous crime?
Oh, why don't we use that? I was pinched last week for parking in front of a fire plug.
Very funny.
Well, here's insanity.
That's the best yet.
Now, wait a minute. You mean for her to testify that I'm crazy?
It's only a technicality, Vince.
I'm not so sure of that.
Very funny.
Now, look, either we decide on something or call the whole thing off.
We'll do nothing of the kind.
Well, that's the way I feel about it, too. Look, Les, what's the matter with good old-fashioned incompatibility?
They don't have that in Nevada. Here's something. Willful desertion.
I'll buy that.
Good.
Just a moment. Who deserted who?
Since you're getting the divorce, Vincent deserted you.
Well, that's not very flattering to me.
Well, what do you want, a divorce or flattery?
All I want from you is a divorce. I'll get my flattery from someone else.
Then it's settled. The grounds are willful desertion.
Good. May I go now?
Now, Paula, you'll tell your attorneys in Reno that Vincent walked out on you over a year ago.
Morally, it won't be a lie. I should have walked out on her a year ago, instead of tonight.
Better late than never.
Where's Vincent going to live?
Oh, he's taking an apartment at the Mayfair Towers.
What are you going to do, Eve?
Me? I'm going to stay here with Paula.
Oh.
What do you mean? Oh.
Well, Vincent being your brother, I just naturally supposed that...
Then he's only my brother. Paula's my friend.
It's a shame this had to happen. But then if a couple doesn't get along, I guess it's the best thing to do.
Didn't work out that way in my case.
Catch that door, will you, Bub?
Hello, Vince.
Oh, hello, Claude.
I thought you were staying in town.
No, I just came to get the rest of my things.
I sure like the way you're handling our account. Keep up the good work.
Yes, thanks.
Good evening, Mr. Doane.
Oh, good evening, Hilda.
Mr. Kimball, I just wanted you to see this before I sliced it.
It couldn't have been baked better down home.
Thank you, sir.
We're having dinner here tonight, Vince. Why don't you join us?
No, thanks. I have a dinner engagement.
Oh, would you tell Paula to hurry it up? We're getting mighty hungry.
Yes, I'll tell her.
You might at least knock.
Well, after all, we're
Will you
still...
kindly step outside until I'm dressed?
Pardon me.
That's Vinny's favorite tune.
It's a lovely tune. I'm beginning to like it myself.
You may come in now.
Thanks.
What did you want?
I came to get my things. Play yet.
These things are...
You might at least wait until the body's cold.
I don't know what you mean.
Practically having the guy move in before I moved out.
May I remind you that according to the settlement, this place is mine?
Well, how do you think I feel having another man invite me to have dinner in my own home?
Oh, how sweet of Claude. Did you accept?
I did not. I have a date.
With Margot, I suppose.
Yes, with Margot.
Well, why don't you have her come over? We've got plenty of ham to go around.
We can get our own ham, thanks.
What are you doing with that?
I'm taking everything that belongs to me.
Will you help me with my zipper? I think it's stuck.
Well, why don't you have Claude unstick it?
All right, I will.
Oh, I'll do it.
What's the name of the place you're moving to?
What do you care?
I don't care. I just wanted to know where to send the bills when I get to Reno.
No. The Mayfair Towers.
Oh, the same as Margot.
The same building.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry. There.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful cook, Hilda.
I just can't believe it. Not much.
Oh, you sure you won't change your mind, Vince?
No, thanks.
It really looks delicious.
press this for me, Hilda, please?
Thank you. Morning, darling.
Morning.
I'm going over to the railroad office to pick up your ticket.
Well, don't be late.
Are you sure you want me to pick it up?
Of course I'm sure. Why do you ask?
I just wanted to make sure you're sure.
Look, Eve, I know what I'm doing. I could never be happy again with Vincent. I'd never trust him.
But he swore Margot meant nothing to him, that it was strictly business. Why don't you give him the benefit of the doubt?
But how can I give him the benefit of the doubt when on top of everything else I discover that Margot Fraser is really Maggie Crippen?
But maybe the dope was afraid you'd do exactly what you're doing.
The thing I resent is that he thought I'd be stupid enough to believe his lies. That's what hurts, Eve. If he'd been honest with me and told me the truth, I'd have forgiven him anything, no matter what he did.
Oh, what husband tells the truth? I'll be right back.
Oh. Hi.
Good morning. Tidy little place.
Thanks.
That coffee I smell?
Supposed to be.
May I have a cup?
Sure. You didn't come up here for coffee. What do you want?
Paula's leaving for Reno on the 11:15. Grand Central.
What do you expect me to do? Go down and see her off?
No. Why don't you go back to her before it's too late?
Did she send you up here?
No, as a matter of fact, I've just been down to pick up your ticket.
Then go home and give them to her.
Who are you kidding? You know you're still in love with her.
I suppose I am. She doesn't want any part of me.
She told me she did.
She did?
Well, not in so many words, but she did say that if you'd been honest enough to tell her the truth about Margot, she could have forgiven you.
But I told her the truth.
She doesn't want the kind of truth you told her. She wants the real truth.
What do you mean, the real truth?
Oh, you know, none of that hulk about that business with Margot being strictly business and that conference with Hendricks up at his farm.
But that was the truth. I'm not going to lie about it.
What's another lie as long as you get her back?
But she's going to Reno.
She won't if you'll stop being a fool and do what I tell you to.
Well, all right, if that's what she wants, I'll confess to something that never happened. You think that'll do it, huh?
I'm sure it will.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. You know, Vinny, I'm beginning to like Kim.
Does Paula know?
She doesn't even know I smoke. Oh, Vinny, you forgot your bag.
Maybe she'll think I'm taking too much for granted.
It'll show her how anxious you are to move back. Now make it good.
You better stay here just in case.
All right.
Why, Mr. Doane.
Morning, Hilda. Is Mrs. Doane in?
Well, yes. I'll tell her you're here.
Hello, Paula.
you going?
Oh, no place. Paula, there's something I have to tell you.
Well, make it fast because I have a train to catch.
Well, maybe you won't after you...
For your trunk, Mrs. Stone. Fine. Show them where it is, please. Now, what is it you have to tell me?
Well, it's...
Excuse me.
Paula, Hello. Who? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. It's Claude.
Hello, darling. Oh, that was only Vincent. I don't know what he wants. You can't. But you'll be at the train, won't you? Fine. Then Eve can take me down. That's very sweet. I can't say it right now. He's still here. Yes, but he'll be leaving in a minute, darling. Oh, all right, honey. See you at the train. Goodbye. Now, what was it you wanted to tell me?
I've been thinking this... Hear that, bud. Paula, I've been thinking this thing over, and I've decided that I've been a fool.
That makes it unanimous.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I know now I should have been honest with you right from the start, right from the beginning. I should have realized that you were too smart a woman to have fallen for that lie I told you.
Exactly which lie are you referring to?
Well, that cock and bull story about Margot and me. I feel that you ought to know the truth about us.
I know the truth about you.
For the love of Mike, Paula, will you just hold still for a minute and let me confess it?
All right. Go ahead.
Well, do you remember that weekend when I told you I was with Hendricks at his farm?
Yes?
Well, I wasn't with Hendricks, and I wasn't at his farm.
No?
No. I was at Crystal Springs.
Really?
Yes. And I'll bet you'll never guess who was there, too. Margot.
I'm glad you told me.
I knew if I were honest with you, you'd be big enough to forgive me. I feel as though I'd just taken a bath.
Get out! Now I know I was right about getting a divorce.
But, Paula, I thought if I told
everything
you...
I thought you were, only worse. Get out! Get out! Get out!
Wait a minute, Paula. When I told you I was telling you the truth, I was lying. No, but, Paula...
Get out! How'd you make out?
How'd I make out?
Never mind.
This could have been me.
Oh, I guess I don't understand women very much either. Here, darling.
You can't go in there. We're in conference.
That's for Crystal Springs.
There's hardly the place.
You must be crazy.
Who is she? I never saw her before.
What could she have been, Lady Esther?
Who is Crystal Springs?
Slapped me.
She did?
Yeah, she said it was for Crystal Springs. Have you any idea what that is?
Well, Crystal Springs is a little place up near Lake George. Sort of a hideaway.
Well, what has that got to do with me?
Well, somebody told Paula that you and I were up there, together, on a weekend.
Well, who in the world would tell her a thing like that?
Oh, some busybody.
Oh.
Margot, why don't you go to Paula and tell her...
Are you crazy? Why should I go to her?
Well, I'm sure that if you explained that there was absolutely no truth to the story, that it would straighten everything out. I tried, but she wouldn't believe me.
Look, I don't care what your wife believes, but to come to me and slap me right in front of my board of directors.
Well, Margot, it isn't just what Paula believes, it's what everybody will believe.
Everybody?
Yes, I'm afraid she intends to bring up the Crystal Springs affair in court. when she names you correspondent.
What? Correspondent? Well, she's out of her mind.
Well, I tried to talk her out of it, but you don't know Paula. Yes?
George Haskins of Bullseye Razor is calling you.
Oh, well, tell him I can't. The reporters? Well, I don't want to talk to the reporters. Put the editor on. Yes. The Chronicle's got a hold of the story.
Oh, no.
Hello, Vince. This is George Haskins.
Hello, Mr. Schuster. This is Vincent Doane of Hendricks, Fenton, Dorton, Durr, and Doane. Yeah. Now, look, Mr. Schuster, about this Crystal Springs story, there's no truth in it.
What are you talking about?
No, just somebody's been doing a lot of blabbing. I don't care about myself, but do you realize what it'll do to Mrs. Fraser? Why, there isn't a married woman in the country who'd buy Madame perfumes after reading a story like that. It'll affect her sales, which will affect her stocks, which will ruin her.
Oh, you think it really could?
Why, of course it could. Now, look, Schuster, if you print that story, not only will Mrs. Fraser sue you, but I'll yank every inch of advertising our agency places with your paper. Well, that's better, Mr. Schuster. Goodbye. Well, I killed the story there, but if she brings it up in court, you're sunk.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Where are you going?
I'm going to have a little talk with that wife of yours.
Well, she's not at home. She's at Grand Central Station. She's leaving for Reno at 11:15. If you hurry, you can make it. Hey, wait a minute. I'll go along with you.
Mr. Doane, George Haskins is waiting to talk to you.
Oh. Goodbye, George.
It's a lot different than when I went to Reno. Jason made me sit up all the way. He was so cheap he wouldn't even smoke cigarettes.
You won't forget to call me just the moment you get there, will you, dear?
No. Who'd ever think I'd be seeing you off to Reno? Last time you were seeing me off. You cried and I didn't. Remember?
Oh, but this time everybody's happy. Aren't we, honey?
Yes, yes, of course.
Margot has something she wants to say to you.
Get out, both of you. Don't you tell me to get out.
Oh, just a moment.
Oh, you stay out of this.
Yes, you stay out of this. Come on, Margot, tell her.
I'm not listening to anything you have to say.
No, listen, ma'am. Why don't you wait till she gets back?
Well, it'll be too late.
She's going to hear me right now. Joe, let's all hear it. You can listen if you want to, but I'm getting out of here.
Well, now, Paula, wait a minute.
You can't wait for me.
Paula, wait.
I never use them.
If you'll stand still a minute, he'll catch you.
What? No, hold the train. Tell him to hold the train. Drago, my wife. Oh, did Margaret tell you what a terrible liar I am?
Yes, wasn't it sweet of her?
What about you and Claude?
He's really a very nice fellow, but you're zizzle.